Okay, let me make sure everybody is muted. Okay, everyone's muted, and I already hit record, so we're good to go. This is the Team Fit and Fabulous call. It is September Wednesday 9th, and I can't believe it's already almost halfway through September. This month is flying. I don't know about anybody I don't know about anybody else. I can't talk. But I actually did a PowerPoint for today because I had so much information that I wanted to share with you guys that I did a PowerPoint. And try not to get, like too bogged down. Definitely take notes, like if you have aha moments, but I'm going to share this PowerPoint with you too, so you can also use that. So I'll put that in the team page as well, but do take notes because there's lots of information. Let me share my screen here. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, guys, I haven't really worked with PowerPoint a whole lot. How do I make it bigger? I should have practiced this. Here we go. All right, so this is getting your coaches started off right. This is like one of the most crucial steps in the whole business, just because it really just sets the tone for the business. It creates that atmosphere and that community of people. So this is just one of the biggest, most crucial steps, and so that's why we are chatting about it today. First of all, I want to do some introductions and some congrats. Lindsay Hay is Success Club All-Star now, which means she's at Success Club consistently for an entire 12 months straight. So that's exciting. Jen Boxberger is a Success Starter officially. So she's hit Success Club the first 3 full months as a coach. And then Gabby is well on her way to being a Success Starter. She is 2 months in. So that's super, super exciting. I got that email today from Beachbody and I was like, what? This is exciting. So Jen, since she's hit Success Club the first 3 months, has now earned a Coach Summit ticket. And then Gabby and Jen, that first full month, have earned a call with Carl Deichler, which was exciting. So congrats to all of you guys. And then Lindsay Hay also just went 2-star qualifying. I didn't put that on there, but I'm just so excited about that. So as far as just the update on September so far, these are the Success Club points everybody has. So Jen and Krista have already hit Success Club for the month, and everyone else is well on their way. So even if you have 0 points, there's still time, people. Still time. All right. Upcoming events. These are like a game changer for my business. I know personally, just going to local Super Saturdays, there is one in Kansas City, but there's usually one in your area, no matter where you live. You can look that up, but it is going to be October 17th everywhere. And then the one in Kansas City is from 9 to 1. So we just get updates from corporate, and then there's usually a workout and success stories. It's really fun. It's inspiring. It makes the business more real because you're like, well, how many people really do this and all that kind of stuff. At least those are the things that were going on in my head. So when I seen that for the first time, I was like, I can do this. Like, I can do this. You just have to make that mental decision and have that mindset. But so the Kansas City Super Saturday, like I said, is October 17th, and the Platinum Edge. So we're all a part of the Platinum Presenters, which is just a team in our upline. It's Christine Dwyer's downline, and she has this big retreat, this big event that's in Dallas, Texas, November 13th through the 15th. So it's an entire weekend, but it's packed full of amazing information. And so we really want to get like a head count, who's in, because these tickets are going to go fast. And that way we can split up hotel rooms so we can make this affordable for everyone. But it's fun. There's parties. There's just tons of trainings. We get trainings from top coaches, and they actually give you steps to apply to your business that you can implement immediately so you can see success. So with that, I just kind of I listened to the National Wake Up Call a few weeks ago, and Christina Solons shared her story, and it just really touched me. And if you guys didn't get a chance to listen to that, I'm going to summarize it here really quick. But she just talked about, she joined as a coach in 2000, 8, I believe she said. So she's been coaching for 7 years. And before that, was in corporate America. She said she's very ambitious, normally likes to work hard and really go for her, just work really hard. She's that type of person. So she worked and worked and worked and worked her way up the ladder in her corporate job. And so 13 years in, she was making, a decent income, probably. She didn't say, I'm guessing if she worked her way up the ladder, but she was working like 50 hours a week plus, sometimes 60, she said, and just crazy amounts. And then, so the coaching opportunity was presented to her, and she decided she was going to go for it. And she did. And a year into her coaching business, she got laid off her full-time job as wherever she was working. So she had no job at all. And at that point, she was just like, I had a decision to make. I could either, go find another job where I was working, or I could buckle down and do this Beachbody coaching thing. And so that's the decision she made. I think she said in her corporate world, she was just working so much that she was stressed out. She, was a fitness instructor, but yet she felt like she had kind of lost, like she'd gained weight. She said she needed to lose anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds. And it was running into her personal life. Like, I don't know if any of you, like, I could relate to that, because if I'm really stressed out, then it like overflows into my personal life. And so her story that she just shared, that like, I was like, that's totally me. I can relate to that. And so she was just like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. Like, so she decided to go full force with Beachbody. She's well into making she's definitely making 6 figures, but I think on the upper end of it, they said. So I don't know. Her story was really inspiring. So I thought I'd quickly share that. So tonight's presentation, I'm going to go over 4 topics. 1 is just become friends. 2, having systems in place. 3, my process or my system that I personally use. And then 4 is just getting started right calls. So the first point is becoming friends. The business is all about relationships. Like, that is the core of the business. And I want to make sure you guys realize that it's not just like get people in and, not talk to people and just worry about yourself. Like, that's not the kind of business this is. This is the kind of business that we're fully focused on relationships. So the more one-on-one you can be with people and your coaches, the better, whether that's Zoom chats like this, phone calls, if you can get together live with them at local events like Super Saturday, Platinum Edge, Coach Summit, things like that, are really going to help everybody. Like, it's like I said, it's a relationship business. So the more you can get in contact with your coaches, the better off that it's going to be. And 2, like, your coaches are always looking for that reassurance, especially in the beginning, but it's a scary leap to jump to become a coach. And at least it was for me. I was like trying to sign up like 3 times before I finally did it. And so it's scary. And so coaches need that reassurance, like they're doing the right thing, they're on the right track, and it's not a get rich quick. So you're doing all these tasks and you're like, is this really working? And it is. It's just the compound effect. It takes time. But coaches need that reassurance. And if they don't have that relationship built with you, they're maybe not going to trust you, or they're not going to just follow through. And like I said, this business is definitely about helping them reach their goals. It's not about you. It's not about you at all. It's not about me. It's me helping you reach your goals, whatever your goals are. And it's the same is true for your coaches. And your goals can be a wide range of things. So going on and just knowing and using the FORM acronym. I use this with every day, not just on Facebook when I meet somebody new. I'm like, oh, so how many kids do you have? I ask about their family. They have kids. Are they married? Are they an only child? Like, I don't just come out and say that, but it just comes out in conversation when I ask about their family and what they do. So occupation, what do you do for a living? Finding out, do they work Monday through Friday? Are they a nurse? Do they work 312s? Are they a stay-at-home mom? Do they like what they do? Are they wanting something more? So finding that out. Recreation, what are some of the things that they do for fun to just feel like them? And then the message / goals. So depending on who you're talking to, maybe that's inviting them to a challenge group. Maybe that's, really reaching out and figuring out what their goals are to see if there's a need or want that you can fulfill and help them. So just really ask questions and be a friend to them. And then create that vision. So many people lack that because they don't realize what awesome opportunity this is and how it can fully change their life. Sometimes you have to just say, do you realize that in a year from now, you could be making, replacing your full-time income right now. And in 2 years, 3 years from now, you can be making 6 figures and you could be going on vacations. You could be building your dream home. Like, sometimes people don't realize that even though it seems like far away, it's really not, because it took me 4 years to get a nursing degree and I wasn't making 6 figures. So creating that vision for somebody is so important in the beginning. The second point is just to have systems in place. This is crucial because it takes that guesswork out. And then since you're a part of this team, we have all of these systems already in place for you. So the hard work is done. All you have to do is invite and duplicate what we're doing. So that's pretty simple. And then just be confident. Be confident in what this business has to offer when you're teaching people about it. You don't have to know everything. I don't know everything. It's just about believing in yourself, believing in the company and what the vision that your team or that your business has to offer. And knowing that, your business isn't Beachbody. Your business is you. So you have to believe in you. You have to be confident in that. And that really just trickles down. So many people think, oh, well, I'm not successful yet, so I can't really talk about it. But you're good at being you. Like, that's all. You're encouraging people to join your team, to become your friend, to become part of your fit family. That's all this is. So just be encouraged by that. Continuing on with point number 2, why are systems so important? It's to help you feel less overwhelmed, your coaches feel less overwhelmed, and of course there's always going to be some people that feel overwhelmed because that's just people. When you're working with people, it's kind of hard to not, that's just going to happen. Some people are going to feel overwhelmed. But having a system in place definitely helps. And then my big thing is to always give a homework assignment or a what's next. So people don't feel hanging or well, what do I do now? But yet it's not so much that they're I don't even know where to begin. So giving a homework assignment every time you talk to them before you reconnect is very key. It also shows who's in. And I don't know, it just is very clear when you send your welcome email and somebody sends your About Me form without you having to ask about it. It's very clear, they're all in, they want this business. And it just shows that they're teachable, that they're coachable, that they want this, that they're willing. And so it just makes you want to say, okay, well, I'm going to meet you halfway then. Let's do this thing. Let's do this together and be business partners. And then it also just lets other people know, that you're not going to just come to them and answer their questions over and over when it would have been answered or is answered in the team page or was answered through an email. That sometimes it's you kind of know, okay, well, if you're not willing to meet me halfway, it's kind of hard for me to want to just keep giving and giving and giving. So it just lets you know who's in and who's out pretty much. 3-point system. Oh, 3-point system. I totally just put those things together. Point number 3, my system. It's 6 steps that I pretty much go through. So when somebody signs up, I first check my placement. I first say, okay, they said they signed up. Sometimes the system has a malfunction. And so I've had even customers order that thought they ordered and then it never went through. So I always double check to make sure it went through for that reason. For another reason, that sometimes maybe your leg placement wasn't where you wanted them to go. So you have only a certain amount of time to move them around. And then the other thing is maybe they placed an order through Beachbody 5 years ago and they were assigned a coach, but they didn't know they had a coach. So they signed up to become a coach with you to join your team, and then they went to somebody else. So sometimes like I said, you only have a certain amount of time to fix that. So those are 3 possible things that could happen, and it's just good to double check it. The second thing I do is then welcome them to the team page. So, your own team page that you have, give them a warm welcome. That's always exciting. And then number 3 is just send them the welcome email. So, and then I always confirm that they received it, because sometimes I have the wrong email, or it went to their junk, or it went to their spam, or who knows what happened. But I always just like to make sure that I had the right email, they received it, and they got it. Then the second step, the first homework assignment, is to do that About Me form. And then the fourth step, so once I get that about me form back, then I'm like, all right, let's set up our getting started right call. It's usually 30 to 60 minutes, just depending. And then from that, then you have another homework assignment where I send a follow-up email, and there's 2 trainings on that, a social media training and then the critical core activities training. So it breaks everything down for them. After they do that, then we will set up a second call. And a lot of times during that getting started right call, I'll go ahead and schedule the second call just so it's scheduled and we can move it around if we need to. It just kind of depends, but I usually try and schedule that in the first call. And then we discuss the 2 trainings and any questions that they have. And then somewhere in there, usually I have a new coach training start because I have one of those start once a month. So whenever that next one starts, I get them plugged into that as well. So point number 4 is getting started right calls. This I try to do in the first week that they sign up. The latest I like to go is the second weekend, just because when somebody signs up, they're usually excited and ready to go, and they don't want to just like be twiddling their fingers, twiddling their thumbs, whatever the saying is. So they're ready to go. So let's go. So the first thing is in the call, I like to get to know them more. So I ask questions. I go through that form that I talked about, the family, occupation, recreation, message, or their goals. So we go over that. I've looked over their About Me form. And this is the part where I'm looking through it and I'm trying to be a really good detective. I'm figuring out what their strengths are, where their goals are, what they want out of this. But more in particular, I'm really looking to figure out, okay, what would make them a good coach? Because every single person that's joining could be a good coach, but it's usually for different reasons because we're all different people. Some people have had a really awesome transformation story. Some people might have celiac, or they're an avid runner. They love to run half marathons, or maybe they're a yogi or a foodie, or they just need the accountability, or they're a busy mom that's looking to stay fit. There's a bajillion reasons why people join, and that usually identifies their brand. So like I said, your brand is not Beachbody, your brand is you. And so there's usually something very particular about people that identifies, like, this is me, and I'm just going to share that. And so I usually try to pinpoint or help them figure out that through their About Me form. I also try to help them figure out if their goal is to, quit their job in 2 years, 3 years. I usually try and figure out pockets of time in their schedule that they could work the business. So depending on if they, work full-time, part-time, stay-at-home mom, it's going to look different for everybody. So I try and kind of help them figure that out. And then the fourth thing I definitely figure out what their goals are. So everybody comes in the business, like I said, for different reasons. Some it's just for the discount, some it's for a hobby, and some want to quit their job. So figuring out their goals and their why is so important, because that's how you know how to help them. If you don't find that stuff out in the Getting Started Right call, you don't know how to help them. You don't know how to help them reach their goals. And so finding that out is super important. The second thing I do is, so the first portion, I talk about them pretty much. Then I share my story if they don't already know it. They were in a sneak peek or listen to a What is Coaching call, I've shared my story already. So unless they want me to share it again, I usually don't share it again. And then the third thing that I go over is I share other success stories. So I've looked at their About Me form. I've probably talked to them a few times in personal messages on Facebook or through a phone call. And so I think of other coaches' successes as regards to like something that sounds like them, a story that's similar to what they have. And I share that coach's story, just so they have something to relate to, so they can say, oh, that story does sound like a lot like mine. I can do this too. And so how do you get these success stories? Well, that's getting on calls like these. That's getting on the national wake-up calls. Those national wake-up calls, those people always share their stories. Like I shared with you, Christina Solon's today too. So it's super important to get on those calls and just believe in yourself, believe in the business and the vision. So we move along. The next thing I talk about in Getting Started Right calls is how to earn. So yes, you make 25% commission, but team bonus is where it gets lucrative. That's where it gets consistent. You're not, if you just make a sale, you're going to get paid for that next week. But when you start to grow a team is when your paychecks get consistent, and you don't have to wonder what my paycheck's going to be, because it'll range, but it's not going to be the exact same like a different job, but you're going to get more consistent. You can bank on certain amounts per month and things. That's really where you're going to see your income grow. So building a team is really where it's at. Number 5 is accountability groups. I start talking about a little bit in accountability groups. This is what drives the business. There's a bunch of templates in the team page in the file section. I tell them all of that so that they know that the hard work is done, right? All they have to do is invite and copy and paste into a Facebook group. It's simple. And so that's what's so glorious about this. Hard work is done. And then the 6th thing, I start talking about Success Club a little bit. I used to hold off and talk about this in the follow-up call, but I find it's so important to talk about this in the first call because of success starters now. And if they don't know about this, like, they need to know that they could be a success starter. And so I just explained that it's an incentive program, that Beachbody has developed this incentive program because before Success Club, Beachbody looked at all the top coaches and they were like, what are all these coaches doing that's the same? Like, what is everybody doing that matches up? And it was basically Success Club. That's why they formed Success Club. These coaches were consistently helping 3 to 5 people minimum each month. If they were doing that, they were growing a team and they were seeing results income wise. And so that's why Beachbody formed the incentive program of Success Club. So then I talk about how to achieve it and why or what the value is of achieving it. And then I talk about success starters, how that first full month as a coach, they get the call with Carl Deichler, which is awesome. And then 3 full months, then they get a free Coach Summit ticket, which is awesome, because we all know the Coach Summit is where it's at. So fun and so valuable. Oh my gosh. You get the biggest bang for your buck there. And then Emerald, I talk briefly about Emerald just because a lot of people will go success starters and go Emerald at the same time. So if I don't talk about Emerald and then they didn't even know that was, an option, or they didn't even know anything about that. So Emerald is simple. It's 2 people that are signed up on your team. And if you've got 2 people, most likely you've got 4 points. So you're almost a success club. So I just create that vision for them that it's possible to do it in 30 days or less. I've had coaches do it in less than a week. So it's definitely possible in 30 days. And then I talk about the mindset, how you really have to have a mindset. If you're going to do this as a business, you have to form that business mindset that this is a business. You have to show up every day. Is Chipotle open every day? If you go to Chipotle and they're closed, would you be a little sad? Yeah, we all would. So we have to treat it that way. If you're going to treat it like a hobby, you can't expect it to grow an income like that. So and then just the critical steps, the 3 vital behaviors, talk about how the team calls they're free and they're available to you to gain knowledge and learn from each other. And then just to be involved in the team page. I know the more you're involved, the more you create that environment of making friends and it just makes it more fun for you. And you learn more because you start brainstorming with the other people and that sort of thing. So it's very important to be involved. And then I just discussed the follow-up email that I talked about previously, how they're going to get 2 trainings in the email, and then we set up our next call. And like I said, that call, it sounds like a lot, usually takes like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Again, the 4 points that we just hit on was just, make sure you become friends with your coaches. These people believed in you, that they signed up with you because they believed in you. And so you really need to take the time and you need to respect their time and become their friend, like that's what this is all about, relationships. 2 is just having systems in place and the importance of them. Then I shared with you my system. And then getting started right calls, exactly what I break down in those calls. So your to-do list is 1, just making a new friend. Let's make some friends and set up some one-on-one getting started right calls. Create templates or systems that work for you. So like all my like welcome email, the follow-up email, it's all saved into a document. All you have to do is copy, paste, modify it a little bit to fit that person. Done. Like, I don't have to recreate the wheel each time. I don't have to retype all that out each time. It's already done. And so having that is really nice. So I suggest you do the same. That's why I think in the emails they all say, copy and save this for your team, because it will help you in the long run. You won't have to forget, or you won't have to recreate it or panic when you get a first coach. And then, yeah, like with the follow-up email too. And then obviously, if you're on this call, you're taking your business seriously. If you're not on the call and you're on the recording, you're still taking your business seriously. But those of you that are actually taking out the time to get on these trainings and these calls, you're taking it seriously. So some extra goals for you is to try, do your best. Add to your team this month. Let's go Emerald if you haven't. Set some goals. Set a Success Club goal. If you haven't hit Success Club or you're a brand new coach, look into making an accountability group date. Set the date so you have something to invite people to. And then set a date when you plan to go Emerald. And if you're already Emerald, set a date to go Diamond and push and go. I'm a pusher only because I love you. I mean, let's be real. Let's go. I think that's it. Thank you. Oh, 10 minutes. Awesome time for questions. I thought I was going to have to slow down. I probably talked too fast. I don't know. So unmute yourself. I'm going to stop the share if you have a question, because we have plenty of time. Hey, Lindsay, I unmuted you. I only unmuted you because I wondered do you do anything different? Like, we did our Getting Started Right call like 2+ years ago. So I was like, does Lindsay do anything different now?
I really don't. Like, everything you put in there, like even the follow-up trainings, like after you do the Getting Started Right call, like usually I will go as soon as I get off the phone with them and email that to them, because I just feel like that's something that like you don't want to forget to do because you want to get it to them immediately. So, but I feel like everything, and I recently, with those coaches that are saying they want to build the business and stuff, I do think it's important to talk about Success Club in that first call. I used to not, because it was, a lot in one call and some people might get overwhelmed, but the people who are wanting to really get after it want to know that. Like, I've even had coaches before I've done the call with them and they're like, so what's Success Club? I got an email about Success Club. So like there's people, that want to know about it. So it's important to talk about it in the first call instead of the second one like we used to.
Yep, I agree. And obviously, if it's a person that's purely discount, I probably won't even touch on it. I'm not going to overwhelm somebody that doesn't want it anyways. And then that they can change their mind totally. We can work on talking about that. But if it's somebody that's like, I really want to quit my job in 2 to 3 years and that sort of thing, I think being a success starter is key. Like, they've just done so much research in that. So not that it's not possible if you haven't. I don't think I was a success starter in the beginning, but I think
I was. No, I wasn't. Amber Newman.
God, Amber Newman, Jen Boxer.
Was all over that. And I think that drove her, though. Like,
yeah. We didn't have success starters when we started, though.
Yeah, but getting that free ticket to Summit and stuff, I don't know, it just kind of shows you that you have the potential and gives you a boost of confidence. And just FYI, so like, let's say you guys sign up towards the end of the month, or it starts your first full month as a coach. Is that correct, Kelsey? So let's say someone signs up September 15th. You have to hit Success Club October. The first 3 months starting in October.
Yep.
Right?
It's your first full month as a coach.
Yes.
Yep.
That's good to know.
I'm sure, though, like, I haven't done research, but let's say you joined September today, 9th, and you hit Success Club September, October, November, they're going to give you Success Starters still.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah. So, anybody have any questions? I kind of went over that fast, so I hope that everybody
I had something I kind of wanted to add, if that's okay.
Yeah, add.
I told you about this, Kelsey. Marissa and I, we kind of take it a little step further, and people might think this is cool. They might think it's too much, but we try and do Zoom chats actually as our first calls. And even with a new coach that's thinking about signing up, I like to do Zoom calls because I feel like it gives me more of a chance to connect with them easier, because phone calls, I tend to get distracted and I look around. But the Zoom call, I'm looking them face to face and it's much more personable. So some people might think that's kind of cool. I use Zoom calls for everything that people will allow me to use it for. Every single time I'm on a Zoom chat so I can see them face to face. So it might be interesting for someone else.
No, I agree. I love seeing people's faces.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking into your beautiful eyes, Gabby.
Maybe not right now.
I love it.
So that was it.
Oh, Marissa's on, and she's almost a success starter too. Look at that girl. You guys both are tag teaming it. I love it.
I just noticed everyone else's pictures. I've only been staring at the same 4 people for the last hour, so now I know. I just have to scroll and see everyone.
You can make it to where you see everyone at once if you go up in the right upper corner, right?
Oh, look, I see.
Oh, there it is. Gallery.
Where are you guys?
Look at you.
I love it. It's like, oh, let me do it. Okay, everybody do a funny face. Let's do a screenshot. Let me see if I can figure this out. I think it's Command-Shift-3. Okay, everybody, funny face.
Okay.
I got it. That will probably be a post this morning.
Kelsey, I'm 90% sure that your funny face was the world's most adorable face.
Oh, whatever. Oh, whatever. Guys, this was so fun. I love these calls. But please don't hesitate if you have any questions, or if you get off the call and you're like, oh, I have a question, because I know I covered a lot of content, but I do think having systems in place and also having templates saves you so much time. Then you don't catch yourself typing the same thing out over and over and over.
I will say I was like scared out of my mind to do my first getting started right call. So if you feel that way, and I like, because I was kind of slow to get coaches, like I'd do one and then it'd be like a month or two and then another one, I'd feel like I was starting all over. So just sign up a bunch of coaches all at once and then you're just doing them all the time. And it's easier that way.
It's true. It's true. Because it feels like you're starting all over if you just have one or two here and there. Recruit like a boss. I'm telling you, that's where it's at. I wish I would have done that from the get-go. Like when you were saying that, Lindsay, I was like, yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there's something else. Oh, yeah. Your first getting started right call is nerve-wracking. But honestly, just be yourself. You're getting to know somebody. Just be yourself and kind of have a bullet point of what you want to go over. And if you miss something, you miss something. It's not the end of the world. You can call them again or set up another call. I mean, it's not that big a deal. But just be yourself, and just the main point of it is just to figure out what their goals and their wants are with the business. That way you know how to help them.
I was going to ask, like, do you just use Facebook basically for recruiting coaches, or like?
I think I do. I mean, I only post mostly through Facebook. I use my Instagram, and I think that I know I met Gabby on Instagram. Where did she go? There's her face. So I think it just kind of depends. I end up making people come to my Facebook, so it feels like my Facebook is where I'm getting everybody, but I don't think it is. Does that make sense?
Are you saying like in regards to like social media versus real life type thing, or?
I guess. I don't know.
Like, because, I mean, you can recruit anybody, but I will say it's a heck of a lot easier to build a big network of people who are following you and who you get to know through Facebook. So, or Instagram, like Amber and I met through Instagram. So it's, yeah, I'd just say social media is probably like 98% where I build my business. I mean, it's just easier that way. And
let me just say this too before this, because we have less than a minute. But meeting strangers was the scariest thing for me. It was totally out of my comfort zone. But that's where I've met like some of my best friends now. Like now I look back and I'm like, why was I so scared? Like I've met like over half of you guys off Facebook or Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. It's so cool. So I know it's scary. So know that I was scared too when I was reaching out to people or talking to strangers on Facebook, but it's cool. It's cool.
The biggest thing is just to be you and who you are, so you attract people like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be
Cool,
real.
fun
Be
people.
you.
Yes.
I like it. All right. Well, we got less than a minute and I don't want it to cut out on us. So I'm just going to kiss you all and see you all on Facebook.
Bye. Later, Gator.
Bye.